Welcome. In this video, we're going to take a look at calculation formulas and how a user can create their own calculation formulas in our PrintVis Business Central system. If you remember from a previous video, the calculation formulas are used at various points throughout the system setup, such as on the calculation units for figuring out the amount of paper or the amount of ink or other items used on a job. They can also be used in the cost center configurations to set up things such as run speeds and other items needed for calculations. To access the calculation formulas in our PrintVis Business Central system, we simply search for calculation formulas or calc form, and it brings up our PrintVis calculation formula list as an option. This list is all of the formulas that are available in the system, both the system formulas that cannot be edited and any user-created formulas. System formulas are in the range from 1 to 999, and the user-calculated formulas or user-created formulas should be created in the range anything above the code of 1000. You'll notice that if we open one of these codes below 1000, I'm not able to edit it. Even if I click on the button, it will let me, or it shows when I try to make the change, it tells me that this is a system formula and that it cannot be modified. So it asks you to revert the change and it goes back to the original format. If this was a user-generated formula, such as one of the ones in above 1000, I can open that formula. I can click my pencil and I could edit my formula here. Generally, you won't be editing the formulas. If there is a problem with a formula, you may go in and change it once it has been created. To create a new formula, you simply click New, and the calculation formula setup page is presented. In the top, you have your calculation formula code. It's generally a good idea to separate these out using the codes. For instance, 1000 could be generic. Anything in the 5000s could be press related, and so on like that. I'm going to use a code of 80,000 just because I know that's not a range that we currently have a code in. And I'm going to pick a name here for this. This is going to be just a simple formula, so we'll just do test formula. And then my unit. The unit is the unit of measure for it. This is how it's going to be presented. So if you are wanting to do square feet or inches or gallons or a custom unit, you can select that at this point. I'm just going to select pounds and then my user formula type. This specifies the type of formula that it is. If I'm using a combination formula, it's going to be, as you can see, my options down here change based on the type of formula that I select. My combination formula allows me to build a formula based on any number of other formulas and any constants that are available or that I can key into the system. I can do a field lookup, in which case this is strictly going to look up an item based on the table or fields that I select. Any user fields that I have set up in my system, and we will talk about user fields in another video, I can select any of my available user fields from those jobs. Conditional, if I want to have a specific formula, I can set it to where if I have a quantity and it will run a specific quantity, it gets one formula. For a different quantity, it gets a different formula. And I can also select my conditional formula there. I can use a report, which will allow me to select a specific report to run at a given time. Any field is probably one of the more useful ones. This allows me to create a formula that has that reaches out to any table and any field on those tables. The drawback to the any field formula type is that you do have to have a developer's license in order to access that formula type. And then a code unit. I can select any code unit and run any code unit. This is similar to the report aspect and is one of the lesser used formula types. To start off with, I'm going to create an any field unit. I'm going to select the item table, and then I'm going to select any field from my item. In this case, I'm going to select the field 6010-069. This will populate the caption for that field, and I can see that on here it is the real length. So this is pulling from the item card. In this case, it's pulling from the PrintVis papers section, and it's strictly going to pull in the length of the reel for any roll stock that I have entered into my system. And once that's in, I just hit back. And so if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's my test formula of 80,000. To create a new formula to use that test field, I can create a new formula. We're going to say square feet. So it's going to take, it's going to be a combination. I'm going to leave it as normal. I'm going to copy or insert formula width. I'm going to grab the width final format. I'm going to click more options. More options shows you your operators that you can select for the formula. In this case, I'm going to do the width times my 80,000. So that should give me the total area used off of that that item, or of that item. It's going to grab the width of my final format, and it's going to multiply it times that real length. And then I hit back. Now to assign that calculation formula to a calculation unit, I'd go into my calculation units and edit my operation. If I want to just test it and see how well it does, I can simply go into one of my quotes. This is going to want a roll stock. Oh, good. This is a web press. So I can select my paper item here. And if I wanted to select my formula code of 90,000, I can hit 90,000, and it automatically populates in with that math. And it also changes the unit to square feet. And so that's how the calculation units work. If you would like more information on the calculation units or have any additional questions, please reach out to your PrintVis partner.